Dopamine fasting is the practice of temporarily abstaining from addictive technologies such as social media, listening to music on technological platforms, and internet gaming, and can be extended to temporary deprivation of social interaction and eating. Please like, share, comment your thoughts below. Thank you for your love and support. It is based on a misunderstanding of how the neurotransmitter dopamine, which operates within the brain to reward behavior, actually works and can be altered by conscious behavior. The purpose is not to avoid dopamine but rather to reduce impulsive behaviors that are rewarded by dopamine. Proponents argue that it is a way to exert greater self-control and self-discipline over one's life, and New York Times technology journalist Nellie Bowles finds that dopamine fasting makes everyday life more exciting and fun. If the cells are not firing, the dopamine will still be there, waiting to be released. Trying to dopamine fast, in short, would not likely have much meaningful impact on dopamine levels. But even if dopamine were something that you could exert discrete control over, how would you measure dopamine levels in your body? Professor Hellmans tells me that dopamine measurements in humans are extremely difficult. You can measure indirectly via looking at metabolites, breakdown products of neurotransmitters, in the cerebrospinal fluid, but that is extremely invasive and is only an indirect and correlative measure. Piper suggests specialized PET scans may one day help us do so, too. But the fact is, there's been no research yet conducted on humans measuring the impact of dopamine fasting. Our understanding of dopamine comes mostly from human-animal models, according to Professor Hellmans, and very few studies have looked at its use in humans. What research we do have suggests the dopamine system is far more complex than most people realize. For better understanding addictive eating, sex, gambling, and drugs, Volko, Wise and Baylor, 2017. In people struggling with an addiction, Piper notes, the turbulence of dopamine swings related to addiction effectively drowns out signals from other realms of life. To retrain an addicted person's dopamine system takes time, usually many months of staying away from the addicted drug or stimuli, but it can be done. In people who don't struggle with an addiction, how much would a day's worth of fasting or staying away from stimuli actually result in meaningful change in the brain's dopamine motive system? It's unlikely to provide much of a benefit. What you should try instead. Dopamine fasting is a silly fad with an unscientific name that greatly undermines its own attempt in helping people take a break from technology or anxious living. It's perfectly healthy and reasonable to take some time away from the never-ending demands of an always-on lifestyle. We used to call this taking a vacation. Dopamine fasting as a term is an interesting conversation starter, but I'd prefer the term vacation or simply taking a break, agrees Piper. The key is to take a vacation or a break from your devices and technology, as they appear to be one of the primary contributors of many people's fatigue with the modern world. We could all serve to unplug every once in a while, agrees Professor Hellmans, but to attribute any perceived benefits to reduced dopamine levels is an oversimplification and misrepresentation of the complexity of the nervous system. And remember, don't overdo any self-imposed isolation. Humans have evolved as a highly social species, reminds Hellmans, and as such, loneliness and very little social stimulation can be coded in the nervous system as a threat, since loneliness is one of the most potent stressors. In short, it may be helpful to take a technology break from time to time. But don't repeat the trendy falsehood that you're engaging in dopamine fasting, because it's not true and isn't supported by the science. Thank you for watching this video. Thumbs up and please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe in order to motivate us. Thank you once again.